This goes from nearby Washington, D.C., from site Intelligence Group, by an individual Rita Katz. There is no real ISIS, at least not on internet. www.globalresearch.co/who is behind the Islamic State's beheadings probing the site Intelligence Group /5402082. www.albaladalien.com/why do ISIS videos all come from Israeli intelligence / replace asterisk by dot. It seems that the URLs are automatically blocked, so it is not surprising that when finally ISIS claimed responsibility, it has done so using this US Zionist mouth. You could believe that they have only their own secret internet form, and site is so smart to hack in it and reveal their intents, which could be possible with videos not intended for public, but it is hardly possible, if they want to publish their responsibility claim, why the ISIS does not bother to claim their responsibility for themselves. The other chance is that real ISIS Tavelhead fighters have got no internet at all, and someone in Washington, some Jew highly paid for that named Rita Katz, is pretending that ISIS claims that responsibility. Reply, Semi, June 5, 2017 at 3:21 a.m. http://www.globalresearch.co/who is behind the Islamic State's beheadings probing the site Intelligence Group /5402082.
There was some kind of fireworks going off a few seconds ago here in Mijdrecht. It's not nice for the cats and dogs, but I doubt if it's some kind of attack. I doubt it.
Reply, Semi, June 5, 2017 at 3:22 a.m. http://www.albaladalien.com/why do ISIS videos all come from Israeli intelligence / if this one also appears, then I do not understand why they seem blocked and did not show my reply unless they were asterisked. Reply, Cowboy, June 5, 2017 at 5:06 a.m. X10, Happy Hoax Actor American Zio Trash Jewish Stephanie Michelle Mossad Crisis Actor in London Van and Knife Hoax Attacks. This creature is as Zio trashy and lying as they get. http://content.gnetstagram.com/T51.288515/C0.89.721374369024095231485231492_N.jpg ig_cash_key equals mtmtxmdawadi 5mdo4ntc3 %3d%3d.2.c. This shameless thing is a human cartoon character, pitiful excuse of a caricature of an actress. https://m.youtube.com/channel/akajokjsimrelbkli1bg6sw. Freak show certainly comes to mind when you see her or hear talk. https://encryptedtbn0.static.com/images q equals tbn and 9gc scudgx 3 cogr 55 f3tzft 5 pxx 7 wzrkjae 10 xdgkgt3 Most ladies of the night have 100 times more class than this Zio trash Jew Cyan. https://www.reddit.com/r/Stephanie Michelle/ Zio trash Jewish actor Stephanie Michelle doing her scripted lies on the fake Van and Knife Mossadlim's hoax attack. https://youtube.com/watch v equals @cogsuk_irby, her Facebook. https://m.facebook.com/amistfanyamikel. Reply, Nicholas M., June 5, 2017 at 8:11 a.m. You are all absolute fucking disgraces. I know people who were personally affected by the attack. Disgusting that you would willfully pretend that the death of innocent people is a fake to further your paranoid agenda. Your hard proof is laughable. Even your tiny bigoted brains must understand that. Go fuck yourselves. Reply, Cowboy, June 5, 2017 at 8:16 a.m., X12, Mossad terrorist detected in London Bridge van and knife, fife and drum attack hoax.
https://cdn5.tim.sputniknews.com/images/105428560105428560. So they don't let me pass the speech engine, and that the attacks are fake doesn't mean that these people were not killed and these kids weren't used for blood transfusions, etc. These people are just trying to get the truth because of the crisis actors and other things that prove things beyond any reasonable doubt. For example, that Apollo moon landings are a hoax, fake. That's proven beyond any reasonable doubt. Against the chemtrails are proven beyond any reasonable doubt. That the Earth is spherical, not flat. It's oblong, is proven beyond any reasonable doubt, etc. And if you want the evidence, then you can watch my previous broadcasts. I give you real solid evidence, reproducible studies. For example, you can test your blood after using a cancer cell phone for over 90 seconds. Then you will see you have lumping red blood cells, a symptom called rouleau by doctors. And I also offer the solution: aluminum foil shielding on the wall, aluminum foil, tin foil hat. You are not paranoid if you wear a helmet with aluminum foil on it. You can paint the foil also. It really protects your brain against cancer cell phone radiation. But then you have the problem that the people with wireless energy might start attacking you because it's part of their depopulation and they have to meet certain numbers of dead carnage basically, and otherwise they don't get paid. Oh, elite.
Reply, Cowboy, June 5, 2017 at 8:18 a.m., X11, London Bridge, Van hoax, is falling down, Zio Trash Act whores, Rita Katz's ISIS crisis actors, Ben and all, and lots of predictive programming ahead of these, and such ridiculous outlandishly lying crisis act whores, https://youtube.com/watch v=zzc_qdm9ube, https://youtube.com/watch v=kike7 storm, Hollywood Zio Trash director Psyop picture with SWAT buffoons with Psyop script in his hand, in your face dunk oyam, telling you it's a hoax. http://www.streetstalking.com/wp content/upload/2017/06/7 dead 48 wounded in London knife attack attack.jpg, who's behind it? Zio Trash Jew behind it of course. https://i.tim.com/fi/cgsers86x/mdefault.jpg, http://smoloco.com/wp content/upload/zionist al-qaeda-meme.jpg, Zionist blackmail don't this like this Zio puppet traitor buffoon. http://smoloco.com/wp content/upload/zionist al-qaeda-meme.jpg, https://encryptedtbn0.static.com/images q=tbn and 9gcr at han 3f of 6jdkq6a1 btsuxtruck 5zj9j29jfp to 9 row 4 chffg. Zionists have been ruthless terrorist murderers from the beginning. http://www.justitinchronology.com/juderamactinlage/zionismus/org/inkjud_terror organization irgun_d/inkjud_irgun save a %27 Ila Umi BD8 Col 1467 1468 Jisuk terrorism Fuhrer 1942.jpg, X12, Mossad terrorist detected in London Bridge van and knife, fife and drum attack hoax, https://cdn5.timc.sputniknews.com/images/10542856/1054285601.jpg. Reply, Hassan, June 5, 2017 at 9:22 a.m. Aussies shooting Muslim scumbags dead, good work. Reply, leave a reply, your email address will not be published. Required fields are marked. Comment.
The mouse pointer was hanging there. So that's all on nowthisinfo.com if you want to check if another attack is fake or real. So if it's a fake attack, is it provable beyond any reasonable doubt somehow? Well, with the directed energy weapons, they are bound not to talk. So they don't even need money to extort these people and to control them. So trust no one, nothing is what it seems. Some people are smart enough not to do what these terrorists with directed energy weapons tell them to and try to make them do. But many people fall for their lies and their torture, and which is an act of terrorism and tyranny, of course. They're trying to tyrannize everyone. That's really the word to use in relation to the directed energy weapon torture and synthetic telepathy. The fake attacks to make people believe that they needed global government and to depopulate the earth, that there are too many of us. All their lies, and then everybody clapping because otherwise they're tortured with directed energy weapons. So nothing is what it seems for that reason. Synthetic telepathy and directed energy. Brain control and torture of the Jesuits mainly. That were expelled from 90 countries for a reason. Jewish people as well. But they work together and they form controlled opposition to themselves, you see, to prevent any real resistance, any real opposition. They know the best way to control opposition is to lead it themselves, because they cannot prevent all or any opposition. So then I wanted to check Jane Burgermeister's channel, if there's anything interesting on that. So thanks to the people of nowthisinfo.com. So these fake attacks are to declare martial law. And when martial law is declared, you lose your right to a lawyer, and the government may shoot you for no reason at all. So if they don't like you, they may shoot you, torture you, etc. That's martial law. Habeas corpus comitatus. You can Google that. Pieces of puzzle could point to plan to launch covert bioterrorism attack on USA. Let's read that then. I've heard that James Burgermeister was also loved by Prince. And Prince and Michael are dead, they say. I hope that they've planned a fake resurrection for them and that they'll be resurrected. We'll see.
Pieces of puzzle could point to plan to launch covert bioterrorism attack on USA May 31, 2017. Jared Kushner and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak talked about arranging a meeting between a representative of Trump and a Russian contact in a third country during their secret meeting. The name of the Trump representative was not identified, but it could be Eric Prince, a high-profile supporter of Trump, who met a Russian contact in the Seychelles shortly after the secret meeting between Kushner and Kislyak. Eric Prince's sister is Betsy DeVos, whose family owns Spectrum Health, the Michigan health company which has faulty Ebola screening protocols, as detailed on this blog, and which was communicating with a secret Trump server together with Alpha Bank, apparently to update a huge database. Let's speculate for a moment in putting some of pieces together. This is just speculation, but the pieces are being put in place for a covert biological attack against the USA to be exploited to institute martial law, etc. Even if this is just an accidental alignment, let's go through some of the pieces of the puzzle. Vanity Fair reports, Eric Prince, the billionaire founder of the infamous private military contractor Blackwater and the brother of Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, is the latest member of Trump world to be caught up in the ever-expanding web of intrigue surrounding the Trump campaign's ties to Russia. On Monday, The Washington Post reported that Prince was at the center of a secret meeting in the Seychelles, brokered by the United Arab Emirates in early January, to establish a back channel between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. It is unknown what Prince and the Russian envoy specifically discussed during the meeting, which took place shortly before Trump's inauguration. But according to U.S., European, and Arab officials who spoke with the Post, the overall goal was to open a dialogue with the Russian government outside of traditional diplomatic channels. Russian bank Alpha Bank communicated with a secret Trump email server together with Spectrum Health, a medical company connected to Eric Prince's sister Betsy DeVos.
Could that have something to do with the tackling of ISIS, basically?
Spectrum Health has flawed Ebola screening protocols, which would facilitate an Ebola outbreak in the USA, as this blog has noted. The Spectrum Health protocols instruct
free vaccines,
healthcare personnel to look only for symptoms, fever, and so will lead them to miss patients potentially incubating Ebola through contact with Ebola patients. The faulty protocols, therefore, risk infecting medical personnel with Ebola. New drastic quarantine rules have been in place in the USA to be triggered in the event of an Ebola outbreak. Donald Trump's new FDA Director Scott Gottlieb is a fan of deregulation and he may allow the Merck Ebola vaccine to obtain an emergency license. Let's assume some hostile foreign entity has noted the biodefense gaps in the USA as exposed during the Ebola outbreak in 2014. The Russian journalist who interviewed me in Larissa last summer directed questions at me which were designed to gain my view of how seriously I thought the FBI etc. took biological warfare. Let's go one step further and develop a really, highly speculative scenario. Let's assume this foreign entity has decided to exploit those very gaps to use a false flag Ebola outbreak to institute quarantines and martial law and take down their rival once and for all. Let's assume it does not conventional war because it sells gas to Europe and cannot afford to lose their revenue. Let's assume it has decided to use a mirror copy of the 2014 Ebola false flag to institute targeted vaccine and quarantine campaigns in the USA etc. Let's assume it has managed to install people who are financially beholden to them into key positions and has established back channels to discuss their plots. To be really effective in taking down the USA, such a scenario would need to be able to avail of huge amounts of data to figure out where potential resistance or opponents are and to target those individuals and regions for quarantine or vaccine. Jared Kushner played a prominent role in developing secret databases for political purposes, and this database may play some role in the secret email exchange between Alphabank and Spectrum Health. T-Pain blog speculates the patterns of data exchanged between Trump Tower, Alphabank and Spectrum Health point to database replication to the creation and updating of a vast database on the American people which could be used in just such an Ebola outbreak to select individuals for vaccines and quarantine.
We are little fucking Tintins and we're gonna expose you if we have to.
Spectrum Health, owned by Michigan's powerful DeVos family, attempted to explain the IP activity as voice over IP traffic, whereas Alphabank offered an even more exotic explanation that hackers attempted to make it look like they contacted Trump Tower. The data traffic, when analyzed, tells a very different story, a story of automated, orchestrated data sharing among multiple sites for a strategic end. Database replication is a rather simple concept. When you have a database with millions of records representing hundreds of gigabytes of data, and you would like to keep a copy of that database housed in two or more locations, it makes no sense to continually copy the entire database from point A to point B every time a change is made, so you replicate it. This allows only the changes made to be sent from one database to another. This is accomplished by a process that runs on timely intervals, usually an hour, that wakes up and checks the changes made since the last hour and broadcasts those changes to the other database. The other database, in turn, checks for its changes and broadcasts them in the other direction. Voila! Both databases are identical. Supposing the database could be used to identify people with certain profiles to prioritize targets for Ebola vaccines or quarantine. For example, people who fit the criteria of being ex-military, higher university degree, income over $20, and who are, therefore, most likely to resist martial law, could be targeted first for Ebola vaccines or quarantine. At any rate, this is my personal hunch about what could be being planned in the shadows. birdflu666.wordpress.com. Michael Flynn will provide Senate with Russia documents May 31, 2017. From First Post, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn will provide documents to the Senate Intelligence Committee as part of its probe into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election, the Associated Press reported. Flynn will turn over documents related to two of his businesses as well as some personal documents the committee requested earlier this month, a person close to Flynn said. Trump's personal lawyer becomes focus of Russia investigation May 31, 2017. From the Australian, President Donald Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, has received and rejected a request for documents as part of Congress's ongoing investigation into Russia's election meddling and contacts with the Trump campaign. Cohen, a longtime attorney for the Trump Organization, remains a personal lawyer for Trump. He served as a cable television surrogate for the Republican during the presidential campaign. Top posts. Italians protest compulsory vaccination for children. Accuse government of serving Big Pharma. Are the Rothschilds controlling Trump? Not Russia. Many links between Trump team and Rothschilds. Will Illuminati Theresa May launch a false flag chemical or biological attack? Pieces of puzzle could point to plan to launch covert bioterrorism attack on USA. Update. Dr. Rebecca Carney to be discharged tomorrow. Profitable depopulation plot links JP Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs to vaccination contaminations by Dr. Larry Horowitz. Holistic Dr. Death Series. Over 60 dead and just over a year after Big Pharma caught discussing Dr. Kill lists. JFK's debt-free dollar. Source bets on speedy end of Trump presidency. Trump should resign and ensure smooth transition in return for immunity May 22, 2017.
The disaster that is Donald Trump, a marionette of the Russians, has reopened the door to a political comeback for crooked Hillary Clinton and her backer George Soros, who is now making huge stock market bets on the speedy end of Trump's presidency. May 22, 2017.
Visit universapis.jimbo.com 999 prologic999.blog2blog.nl. Source links organizations like GitHub has played a key role in the 2014 Ebola false flag. Source is also a proven copier of my blog, allowing me to charge him and Larissa in November 2016 for being behind the attempts to silence me. Barely was Trump in office when my situation actually deteriorated in a red alert sign that Trump and his Russian faction don't want a blogger covering biological warfare either. The latest attempt to arrest me under false pretenses is, in fact, directly linked back to Trump's team, albeit using Soros' government network in Greece. That underlines that Trump's Russian backers and the George Soros and Bill Gates faction are on the same page when it comes to pushing the agenda of covert biological warfare.
Of 300 wars in advanced countries by and in third world countries of 3 billion people by year, 2,050 people they put George and Margaret are committed of 300 members.
CDC did.
David Show.
CDC did.
However, it is not clear how much these two competing factions are engaged in tripping each other, creating a volatile situation. Trump should resign and take with him the entire crew of Russian wreckers, including Wilbur Ross, Steve Mnuchin and Betsy DeVoe, and help transition to a government that carries out his campaign promises, canceling private and federal debts on a vast scale and issuing treasury bills to bring debt-free money into circulation in the real economy other than through private banks and mortgages is designed way on fully rebooting the financial system and economy. The new housing bubble will burst, but that would be a good thing. It is time for houses to reflect their real value rather than their value inflated by fair value accounting and fueled by the mortgage bubble of private banks. And Trump should pick up the phone and use U.S. government pressure to get my case back on track immediately, since he and his team are so deeply implicated in it now. The Russians should realize too they have been too clever by half, installing Trump as president to take down the USA while thinking the Americans would not notice he is a Russian puppet shows that the Ruskies live in fantasy land. Caught his puppets red-handed again today at Rise Court, changing my new address back to the old one. Aiming to set me up yet again? Do they ever tire of failing? May 10th, 2017. Proof that I managed today to finally change the official court stamped notification to have all my cases sent to my new address. Crooked source. No more deal will arise to police and prosecutors. My charges stand. These Soros, Kushner operatives are a menace to the Greek people in the world. Put them in prison where they belong. May 7, 2017. The Greek Army, police and justice officials should stand up against Alexis Tsipras, Jared Kushner and the operatives at Rise Court and police who are protecting George Soros, caught red-handed trying to start false flag epidemics. The Rise clergy, police and justice officials are not patriots. They are proven criminals, dangerous for Greece and the rest of the world. Their constant efforts to imprison me and presumably kill me under false pretenses increase the likelihood of another mass vaccination campaign with risky epidemic vaccines also increase where 100% of the population are set to receive these jabs. Flashback to 2009 when Kostas Kaufman unveiled plans to vaccinate every single person in Greece with the swine flu vaccine now proven to be dangerous and which I warned against. Health Minister Mijdrecht yesterday held the intended vaccination against swine flu of Greece's entire population of 11 million, including thousands of illegal immigrants, as the government's action plan for tackling a possible pandemic was unveiled. It was decided under the order of the Prime Minister to vaccinate all citizens and residents of the country, without exception. Avramopoulos told reporters after an inter-cabinet meeting chaired by Premier Kostas Kaufman, the more serious scenarios foresee the use of military and private hospitals and even hotels to treat patients and the mobilization of trained and retired doctors, according to sources. These national pandemic plans still stand if, for example, an Ebola outbreak is declared in Greece. Join me and help me in putting those guilty police and prosecutors guilty of such huge crimes, endangering their own children, their own parents, their own families in prison. Red alert. Is source moving to silence me to protect Jared Kushner? Fake charges came one day after my blog post about Russian TV journalist and Kushner, Bannon, pre-Priebus, Trump as dangerous as Soros, May 7, 2017. My blog under constant cyber attacks since Trump became president. Well, George Soros and his puppets in Greece moved immediately to silence me by imprisoning me under false pretext after I posted an article suggesting Jared Kushner had links to Russia. In the meantime, it seems Kushner has financial ties to both Source and Russian oligarchs. Interesting is that Simon Semrez filed charges against me on 16 February, one day after my blog post about Kushner and the Russians, and that blog post is the main focus of his complaint. A few days later, 24th February, a deputy police chief in Malaysia accused me falsely of violating Article 232 in the court judgment, setting in motion a train of events which nearly led to my false imprisonment and likely unnatural death. I have just sent these paragraphs off for translation to be ready for my testimony tomorrow. Must put text together and collect all the evidence. More soon. I was falsely accused by Malaysia police officer Georgios Vasilis on 24th of February 2017 of violating 232A of the Penal Code on the basis of the false evidence delivered by Simon Semrez on 16 February. Vasilis leaves out all details of the judgment I am accused of violating. I allege he has done this precisely to conceal the fact that I have not violated any court judgment. Also, Article 232 refers to the concealment of a crime. Nowhere in the accusation is there any reference to any crime I have committed. Article 232, therefore, cannot be applied to this case, since there has been no crime committed by me. In the first place, there is no crime to be concealed or to be uncovered. First of all, the accusation of Simon Semrez refers to a civil lawsuit. It refers to a Judgment 20 on temporary injunction delivered by Judge Finette Canicola on November 16 in the civil court. If I had violated a civil lawsuit judgment, which I have not, it would be a civil matter, not a criminal one.
Oops, the mic was still on. So all this stuff doesn't really matter if two-state solution, world war comes to pass. And then it's also erased by the electromagnetic pulse. They might even do an EMP without nuclear weapons. An EMP weapon is quite easy to make, to destroy their cancer cell phones, to protect them from themselves, basically. You could argue that people that have a cancer cell phone on truly are insane. If it's not in airplane mode, then the radiation is going through their brain, guaranteed. So it even transmits a signal when you're not using the cancer Wi-Fi, cancer LAN, cancer Bluetooth, and the cancer cell phone itself. Also well, you can read about it. It's also covered in one of my previous broadcasts. But that would be hard to find. I wouldn't be able to find it myself. They're doing some artificial fear attack. And it can be very annoying. It's like being in shock continuously, shaking in my chair. I bet they don't do that to PewDiePie. Though I think he is pretty good, and he has the most viewers, I think. He's the most paid YouTuber. And I've already showed that video about, what was the statement again? I have to go all the way to videos. Oh yeah, this was the picture of the Manchester blast. So these really can be crisis actors with fake blood. It's kind of warm and I think they are still attempting to murder me with directed energy and remotely controlled insects, so they also control flies and mosquitoes, etc. And me talking about it will bring them back, of course. So exposing it is always punished with more of the thing you talk about. Just to make us do it again, so that we can show we cannot be controlled with that. We control ourselves. That's a really good album, you should try. Thievery Corporations, how that. Perhaps the best album ever made for during the summertime. Really nice. Great piece of art. Where is that video? I think it was before that. PewDiePie says to his whole 50 million subscribers to kill all Jews, Hitler has been cloned. YouTube video uploaded by Liam Xmail. And perhaps it's satire or whatever. You'd have to claim that, otherwise it's illegal incitement to commit genocide or mass murder or whatever. Incitement to commit murder, basically. But in the video he said death to all Jews. I've already shown it in my previous broadcast. And that can be interpreted in lots of ways. They're deaf, like radical or whatever, groovy. Or deaf, be deaf, don't listen to the voice of God, weapon, etc. Deaf too, all Jews are deaf. Or that he's saying, I am deaf to all Jews, it means not listening to whatever they say. Like the snake in Jungle Book trying to hypnotize Mowgli. If he simply wouldn't listen to it, then it cannot affect him. But most people would think, I think, deaf to all Jews, that he means gassing them and exterminating them in camps in controlled fashion. So I don't know if you can still find that video on his channel or whatever. So in my videos gallery there can also be illegal stuff that I consider illegal, and shocking material, and just music. Les Champs-Élysées by Joe Dassin. I have recently uploaded 360-degree material of the square in Mijdrecht, where I have done an interview with my father. The first couple of recordings I made have been erased. My SD card seems to be flawed. I reformatted it again and also did a erase with the format tool or whatever by Panasonic. But I doubt if that will fix it, so I've also ordered a new SD card. Mario Savio. There are times when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick in heart that you can't possibly take part, and you have to put your bodies against the levers of the machine, and you have to make it stop, and you have to make your way to the people who own it, and if you can't switch off the brain control machine, the machine won't be prevented from working at all. Or whatever. Good speech. It can also be racism or anti-Semitism. Doesn't mean that I'm an anti-Semite. I'm anti-Semitism basically. But I'm also anti-depopulating Earth. And I've exposed controlled opposition for what it's worth. And the real possible opposition, the real revolutionaries, can be the people that expose controlled opposition, of course. The real resistance to their depopulation and the pedo abuse and depopulation of children, human sacrifice, blood bathing, all that shit, that sick shit, that's just not right, and we have to completely eradicated from our reality. Eric Dubé, nice. Check him out, he's cool. Oh yeah. Russia, God is not a solution. The beginning is good. Well said. Perhaps he was killed by the CIA as well, food poisoning or whatever. And this guy also has interesting stuff. Bigger than Snowden, CIA tortured and murdered US citizens in 2015, and then you can find his channel. His name is not on there. Usually I try to put it on there, but sometimes I just don't feel like typing. Okay. Well, I think that's it for now. They're still there, wow. All this time. 2 hours 45 minutes. 0 dropped frames. So I'm ready to celebrate. For universal peace, of course. Be sure to check my previous broadcasts. It's stuff that everybody should know. And it's really the most important thing. Your life. Making a survival is all strategy. Joining me in the fight with words, the good fight against the pedo elite and other trolls that want to depopulate the earth, the Jesuits and Freemasons. And I hope that they've improve themselves, that they're if they're in control, they can make changes for the benefit of their group and also all humanity, doing stuff that makes sense based on logic, and not to do it unless you can control the outcome, blah blah. Very wise. This is now a love song. Universal peace now.